the Quran. From cover to cover, memorizing it. Not one vowel extra, not one vowel less. Okay? So, again the king said, are you trying to make a mockery of me? So there was a servant who said, no, he's saying the truth. So what did the king do? He sent his children to Andalusia to get educated. He sent them. And they were promised that they wouldn't be forced to accept Islam. They wouldn't be forced to change their religion. That they can learn and learn the customs, and then when they're done studying, go back. The poor of Andalusia. One of the reasons is because the objective of the Muslims changed. Before, the first priority was God, implementing God's rules and following the example of the Prophet and so on. That was first. But then they began, dividing among themselves. I am from this place, you are from this place. Division took place, and they would conquer. And they say divide and conquer. Now, there is a man by the name of Lauro Olmo and Cisco from the University of Madrid. He said that people usually have the misconception that in whatever land the Muslims or the Arabs come to, that is the downfall for that place where they come, is the decadence of that place. And he said, and he's not a Muslim man, he's an archaeologist, and he studied the land in Spain. And he said, that's not true, that's not true. It's in an interview, there is the documentary, you could go on Google search, when the Moors ruled Europe, for free, you can see it, and it has the whole documentary, made by non-Muslims. Okay? Then he said, that's not true, that's not true. And he said, when the Muslims came to a land, they built a civilization. They built cities. They built hospitals. The mosques used to have hospitals, school, everything. It was like the center where people would go and gain benefits and learn and share and just for the sake of God, everything together. In a time, religion and science together. In a time when there was a separation between religion and science. In a time when no, we don't accept science. But look what happened when, because science, you have to investigate and seek knowledge. So, this is what the Muslims did. These are some roots. These are some roots of Islam in Latin America. This is a place in Guadalajara, Mexico. Do you have any Mexicans here? Just raise your hand with pride. Good. Okay. See, look at the courtyard, the trees, the arcs. Look at this, the courtyard, the trees, the arcs. Similar, right? And there are others. And a lot of masjids have the arcs. I'll give you something better. The name Guadalajara is Arabic. Wad al-Hijara, the valley of rocks. Wad al-Hijara, Wad al-Lahara. So it's a little bit more than the archaeology. Here's some words. There are Spanish with Arabic origin. Aceituna, zaytun. Azúcar, azúcar. Pantalón, pantalón. Alcalde, alcalde. California, Australia. Viene de la palabra califa, que es como el líder. Sheriff, the one that gives you the ticket. In Arabic, it means the noble one, right? Sharif. So it changed a little bit in definition. But it has the same root. Can be, I found this out. I wasn't aware of this one, but I found it in the book, The Magnificent Muslim. You could look it up, candy, sandy. Arroz, oz, camisa, camis. This stuff interesting. Honolulu, they used to say, because the Muslims had ships, and they arrived in this place, they used to call it Juz al-Hawa. Juz al-Hawa, Hawaii, okay, the island of where there's a lot of breeze. Juz al-Hawa, Hawaii. And the capital of Juz al-Hawa was, when they in that place they found pearls. And they would say, Huna, look, here there's pearls. Huna, look. Here there's pearls. Hana, look. Now it's the capital, but before they were pearls. Where are they? So there's some similar places as well. This is my beloved gang, Puerto Rico. Okay? And this is in Melilla, Spain. And this place coming on the right side actually is called El Morro. And El Morro is the name that was the Moors, which is the Muslims. And if you see, the windows have the same arc. It's very highly similar. And there's also another one in Cuba. Okay, there is an ayah in the Quran that Allah says, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير إن الله عليم خبير. It says, O mankind, this is a general call. Sometimes God calls the Muslims and He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe in Allah, in the Prophet Muhammad, in the Quran, etc. But sometimes Allah calls mankind, a general call. Ya ayyuhannas, O mankind. Verily, we created you from a single soul and from this soul made you into partners. From this soul created his partner, Adam, Eve, right? And we made you into a town, tribes, qaba'il, for what? So that you can know one another. So that you can know one another. So the wisdom that Allah created us different is so we can know one another and share our different cultures and our different values. And then here God determines. Inna akramakum, who's the most noble and who is the best? Inna akramakum inda Allah, in the sight of Allah, the one who is most God conscious, the one who has piety, the one who has taqwa, who loves God and obeys Him and fears Him and abstains from disobeying Him. That's the best one. So the main goal for us is that which God wants, not what I want. This is for those my brothers and sisters from Spanish origin or Latinos. We have this website. It's called Islamic Spanish, and we have hundreds of audiobooks that are free online, videos. You can access them. You have the whole Quran translated in Spanish in audio. You can listen to it for free. And you can also, we have a radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can just put it on your, even on your cell phone, and put it to play, and you have lectures. Put earphone, and wherever you go, you can seek knowledge. And soon, in April, we're going to launch again the new series of Islamic Spanish TV. And it's going to be, if you sign up on the website, it's for free. So when there's a sign up, we think, okay, no. Sign up for free, and automatically, whenever we're going to do the show, we send you an email. And we say it's going to be at this time, at this place. And you can just go to that website and watch it for free live. And also interact and chat and ask questions. We have our videos from our previous shows that we did, our previous series. And currently we have over 140,000 views of people that have seen the videos from all over the world. So that's basically my conclusion. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. I say this and I ask God to forgive me. Anything wrong from myself, everything right from God. May Allah accept, may God accept our intention. May God bless you all for coming. It was very pleasant to be at your presence. At this time, my wife is actually going to the hospital to get prepared to give birth. So I will take some questions, but then I will run to the airport to try to make it before, my wife gives birth, inshallah. She gave me the permission to come. She said, go, so now I'm going to try to make it over there, inshallah, before it's too late for me,
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We're going to begin with the dinners. We're going to start serving tables one by one. Each person has an assigned table, so hold it up in the index card. Or if you wish to just ask, if you want to raise your hand and ask a question or whatever you feel more comfortable with, you have both options. And he'll be addressing some of the questions that you may have concerning what you saw today.
Okay. There's one question now. What percentage of South American populations are Muslim? In regards of specifically in South America, I don't know the percentage, but recently there was a study done that said that in America, like Muslims from Spanish background, like converts that are Hispanic, it reached the 200,000, and this was done at a university in California. So that before in the early 2000, it was like 40,000, but now it's 200,000. The other question also, please, when you go outside, there are books out there for free. You can take them. There's also CDs in Spanish. You can take them. There's free topics, the religion of truth, Jesus and Mary in Islam, and also know the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad. Does anybody have any other question? Okay, there's a question here. This question, mashallah, is a good question. All questions are good. Yes. Okay. Also, the food, inshallah, is going to be brought to your table, so you don't have to worry about making lines, or you have enough for everybody. No question, inshallah. There's a question on how did I come to Islam. It's a good question. I mean, it would take time. I would just tell you a little bit about my background and my upbringing quickly before we. If anybody has any more questions, go ahead and say them as well. Before, I was brought up in a religious household. Before my mother married my dad, she used to be a nun. Okay, my mother used to be a nun. She used to teach in the convent, and I saw beautiful pictures of her teaching all girls. But then she left the convent and decided to get married to my dad and had us. So we were brought up in my home doing the catechism every Saturday. We were brought up, my mother taught me how to make a prayer before eating a meal, to make a prayer before going to sleep, to give thanks when waking up. She told me these principles, these universal principles. And I was brought up this way. I did throughout my life. She also gave me the freedom to live. So I made the wrong choices and ended up in some trouble. And then I began searching. And the way at a time, I'm just trying to make it as freedom as possible. There was a time in my life where I couldn't trust no human being. Because I felt if I go to this place or that place, just because I went to that place, they're going to try to convince me to become from that group or that religion. So I didn't trust a human being, but I did trust God. So I said, God, you created me, you know what I need better than myself. Show me the right way and I will not look back. So at that time, I had taken Bibles from different churches. And I remember that me and a friend had taken a Quran from the public library. So I began doing my research. I began looking and reading and looking at commentary and so on. So then, through my reading and comparison, at a time when I was asking myself, who do I pray to? Who do I worship? Do I, pray to this statue or do I pray to? So I was a little confused. When I read a verse in the Quran that says, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, you alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to worship God, and I'm only going to ask Him for help. Because I know that God is perfect, the human being is not. God is powerful, the human being is weak. So I decided to continue reading, and I spent 9 months reading the Quran, and I would begin to implement that which I read. So whenever I read a verse about fasting, how many of you know about fasting in Islam? Okay, let me give a chance. Any non-Muslim know, from when to when the Muslims fast? Yes, sister?
Yes. From the first daylight into the last light of the day during the month of Ramadan.
Very excellent. So now, in the month of Ramadan, this is the time period. So when I read in the Quran fast, I would fast and I looked at the wisdom, read the commentary and it said, we fast for self-discipline and this and that and to feel what the poor feel. So I began to fast until I felt pain. I didn't stop. Sunset came, I kept fasting. I didn't know. You Muslims are lucky. You knew. I didn't know. I was learning by myself. So I fast until I felt pain. Because I said, I'm not a hypocrite. I know that I have food in my refrigerator. Well, there are people there's people out in other parts of the world who don't know when they're going to eat. Who do not know when the next plane with food is coming. And what kind of food they're going to eat. So I try to discipline myself. When the Quran said, pray, I would go on the floor and pray. How? I don't know, just pray. I had the intention, but I'll just pray. So I spent 9 months, fighting myself, disciplining myself. And after that, I became Muslim. And 2 years later, my beloved mother, who is now taking care of my wife, accepted Islam. After being a nun and being well educated, and still, I still have all my Bibles. Because I know that the Quran teaches us, to believe in the essential message that God sent. And God mentions the Muslim has to believe in the books, the sacred books, meaning the Torah that was given to Moses, the pages of Abraham, the Psalms of David, the evangelical or the Injil to Jesus, and the Quran. So if a Muslim doesn't believe in these scriptures, in the essential message, then he is not a true Muslim. This is one of the pillars of belief. So when my mother saw that, there's a chapter, after being a nun and being covered and looking like Virgin Mary, when she saw that the Quran, that God dedicates one whole chapter, or 2 chapters, one chapter named Mary, and another chapter is dedicated to the family of Imran, the family of Mary and Zechariah and John, Yahya, etc. So a lot of things were very similar. So 4 months later, my dad decided to also accept Islam. And they weren't forced. Because, like we said, there's no compulsory religion. They chose. They learned, they read, they decided, they chose. So the first step is to look for the way. And it's difficult. It is. Realistically speaking, it is difficult. The second need, once you find the right way, is to accept it. And the third need is, once you accept it, to remain in it. To stay. Many come and go. So this is just a little brief intro. This is after listening to this information, does anybody that is non-Muslim, with all the, how many non-Muslims are here? Please raise your hand. No, okay. Does anybody think or feel that they want to accept and choose Islam as their way of life? That they want to, just submit to the will of God? If you do, it's very simple. You don't have to do a big ritual. It's very simple. But if anyone does, you can raise your hand. Anyone does? Okay, let's do it. even all the Muslims, let's renew our shahada. Alright, let's just practice. Alright, I'm going to say it, and everybody just reviews. Alright? Everybody, at the count of 3, I'm going to say it just so, this is what you say, just 2 quick sentences, just to review. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. This means I bear witness that there is no God worthy of being worshipped except God. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his final messenger. That's does anybody have, there's a question? Inshallah. So if anybody makes the decision, don't hesitate to ask, inshallah. Okay, there's a good question, and this is related to this. If I become Muslim, what will happen to all of the good deeds that I have done as a Christian? See, God is the one that judges. Every person will have the reward for his deeds. And God knows. So all your good deeds will remain good deeds. Now the question is, what will happen with our bad deeds? Because one of the companions was asked, so I don't think God is going to forgive me. So he said, all your previous deeds will become good deeds. Somebody might say, oh, I should have done more bad deeds. So always know that God is the most merciful. So I think this is up. Inshallah, enjoy your meal.
Question.
Yeah.
Do the Hispanic and Latino people know something in their history of the Arab Islamic roots? Is that something that back in their countries or in their schools that this is something that's taught, or is it?
I mean, I studied some years in Puerto Rico and asked also brothers and sisters that have grown up. I mean, I don't recall ever learning about Spain or a link between the Muslims of Spain and our culture. None of that. But yes, we know that there were always like merchants in South America, and in Puerto Rico, selling clothes and selling, blankets and so on. And this is from many years ago. But in regards of, does anybody know? Anybody can share with us? Anybody de los hispanos? ¿Alguien de los hermanos y hermanas hispanos? ¿Alguien aprendió antes en su país acerca de la historia de esa historia en España o en Andalucía? ¿Alguien aprendió? ¿Usted aprendió en su país? Excelente. So, hay en algunos lugares. Acá no se aprende, pero muy breve. ¿Algunas otras preguntas? Any other questions? Yes.
Has anyone done a tally of words that are of Arabic origins that still remain used in Spanish, to have a tally of them, a count?
The exact number, they had said in one report that was published in Islamic magazine that there's over 3,000 words that are still used. Like zaytuna, we use those azúcar, aceituna, alcalde. The alcalde is like the judge or the So all these words, we use them. We still use these words. Even when we say when the Islamic says ojalá is like inshallah. Ojalá is like, hopefully if God wills, I'll do it. It will happen. Ojalá. Oh Allah. Ojalá. Inshallah. También, there's a custom that I didn't mention. In Europe, there is a custom of the siesta, right? Which is taking a nap in the midday, like after like 12, 1 o'clock, more or less, and sleeping until the bell was rang or a sound was made. This is a practice that Prophet Muhammad taught his companions. But the reason that he taught it was for worship. And the word in Arabic is qayluda. They would say that ayn al-qiyam ma'al-qayluda. Assist your night prayer with the qayluda, with the nap. So when you go to villages in the Muslim world, they would, when the second prayer is done, everybody goes directly to their homes, they will eat their lunch, and they automatically, me as the guest in the village, I'm like, where's everybody? Sleeping. Even the guests, if there's the guest on the taking out, everybody sleeps. In Muslim, in the qaryas, in the villages. I loved it. It's amazing. And I'll tell you this, my grandfather in Puerto Rico, at 7 o'clock, before we went to school, he already had all his vegetation under the sun, the coffee, the beans, everything that is done, right? He was already done. At that time at 12, I'm looking for my grandfather, where is he? Taking a nap. So where did he get that? And this is a tradition. This is recorded in books. 1,432 years is in books. That is there. It's nothing that we invented. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's there in books. So it's a coincidence, that also Muslims were enslaved and they were practicing that for 800 years. So there's a lot of these facts. Any other? We have another question? We're done?
Two's good enough.
Okay. I hope you enjoy your meal. Usually we start, when we eat, we say Bismillah, in the name of God. And when we end, we say Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. Okay, do you have baptism, and are you a member of any mosque in the country? Basically, in regards to baptism, we don't baptize, but there's a verse in the Quran that says that Allah is the one that baptizes and blesses the people. And in regards to being like a member of a particular mosque, any place there's a mosque, even the earth. You know, of course, we have the mosque as a place of worship, but if a Muslim is outside, he can pray wherever he is. For example, and this is based on what the Prophet said, that the Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad said that God made the earth for me a mosque. So wherever I go, I can remember him. Whether I'm outside, I'm in the airport, it's time for prayer, I can stop and stand in one side and pray. When I'm in school, you know, when I was in college, I spoke to my teacher the first day of school. And I told her, it was the evening class, and I said, you know, can you please excuse me, you know, because I need to, at this time, you know, I need to pray. So she said,